All right. Happy Friday, everyone. Cool. All right. Welcome to Friday Live Q&A. Excited to share with you guys this time. I got a little fireside chat going on today. We're in a different part of the building because, as you already know, our clinic is under construction. And what we want to do is provide, hold on a second, turn that off. Pause due to connection, cell phone sync. No, all right, here we go. So we've got connection challenges, right? That's always fun. So anyway, we're in the office space of the building here, and we're almost complete with our construction project, which is awesome. We're putting in glass, more lights, and flooring and stuff like that. So it's super loud over there right now, so that's why I'm over here in this space, because it's really quiet. Got a couple people working in the back, but got a list of questions here this week for Friday Live Q&A, and feel free to type your questions in. Kendra, hi Kendra. Join us, like Hope has joined us. Hi Hope. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in below. I will do my best to spearhead those questions as we go. It's been a fun, action-packed day so far. Hope you guys are having a great day. Try to keep fueled here. All right, sweet. So let's jump into it. We have a young lady named Sherry asking, will regenerative procedures, regenerative cellular therapy, if you're not familiar with that, regenerative medicine, will the procedures ever become commonplace, and will they ever go down in price? So for any service like a non-covered medical service, it's really challenging because insurance companies, well, first of all, regenerative cellular therapy is designed to fix things, and frankly, managed care systems that involve drugs and surgeries are not designed to fix anything. So what I want to understand is that, yes, I believe they will become commonplace. This is like the future of medicine coming to you now. And if you understand that, then yes, they're going to become more and more commonplace. What I've mentioned in the past is that there's a certain portion of regenerative cellular therapy called exosomes, and exosomes can be designed to do certain things. Exosomes are like a byproduct. Like if you use a mesenchymal stem cell, which is a stem cell, and puts off a byproduct of one of many things, exosome. And they're going to design exosomes in order to be used for oncology, which is cancer, or heart disease and stuff like that. So they're going to design these things, and that's when you're going to start seeing them pop up on billboards. Because what then they're going to do is they're going to be able to have a code for it, because the pharmaceutical company can have a... All right, so we disconnect there for a second with the old book face. Let's see if I can make sure that doesn't happen again. Turn off the Wi-Fi. All right, sweet. So, okay, here we go. So Sherry's question, yes, I believe that regenerative cellular therapy will become very commonplace because it is the future of all medicine. It's the only chance that people have to actually heal things once they've gotten to the point where they've degenerated so far. So yes, Sherry, they will become commonplace. As far as the price goes, anytime something's new to the market, it's has a higher cost of development and has a higher cost of implementation. So for us as a clinic system, we have to acquire these tissues from tissue banks and things like that. And the companies we work with is called New Life Regenerative Cellular Therapy, New Life Regenerative Medicine. So we pay them for product, and then we pay a nurse practitioner to provide the service. So basically what you're paying for, people think about the price tag, but think about what price do you want to put on your life, like getting your quality of life back, enjoying life again. So one of the things I think about myself is when I'm in a position, I'm like, okay, I can work more and earn more money, but I can't necessarily get more time back. So I'd rather invest the money now to get the livelihood and the vitality back and the ability to do what I want to do back, instead of waiting around and saying, well, I hope the price comes down. So just keep in mind, you have to make a judgment call as far as where you want to put your resources. I mean, if it's between putting food on your table and getting regenerative cellular therapy, obviously you know which one you're going to pick. But if you have the ability to work, or you could have the ability to work by getting regenerative cellular therapy, then you'd want to consider, like, I can make that investment. You can put it on a payment plan, you can get funding for it, things like that. But you want to make sure that you're prioritizing things, because look, you only have so much time on this planet, and if you're not enjoying it, it's not really worth it. It's not a matter of how long you live, it's how much you enjoy it while you're here. Looks like Deb joined us. Hi, Deb. All right, so hopefully, Sherry, that answers your question. But all new technologies are seemingly considered higher priced or higher cost, but as a result, you have to understand what is the benefit I'm getting back from investing that. If you invest $8,000 in getting your knees to actually function so you can walk, so you can actually get the weight you want, so your body doesn't hurt, so you can enjoy life, play with your grandkids, your kids, and whatever it might be, that's worth $8,000. And that might seem like a lot of money, and I'm just throwing out, I'm making a number up. That may seem like a lot of money at first, but at the same time, what's it worth to you? So keep that in mind. All right, next question. Can you mudpack, which is a therapeutic mudpacking process, can you mudpack if you're pregnant? I generally would not recommend that you mudpack while you're pregnant. Reason being is you're going to create a detox process in your body. So you're going to be flushing out a lot of toxins. You're going to be pushing them into your digestive system. What you don't want to do when you're pregnant is mobilize a lot of toxins. Now, we all have toxins in our body, and each one of us has a different ability to get rid of them. If you understand that during the gestational process, when you're carrying the fetus, you don't want to mudpack because you're going to be mobilizing toxins, you're going to be detoxing your body, and you don't want your body to confuse the fetus as something that it wants to get rid of as well. So definitely don't mudpack while you're pregnant, but you can mudpack just as soon as you're feeling well and able after you're pregnant, okay? And it's really important, especially for women who either do a C-section and they cut open the abdomen. You want to mudpack that once it's healed up, and or the perineum, which is the pelvic floor where some people have tearing and or they get episiotomies in order to facilitate the birthing process. You definitely want to mudpack that when you're done, okay? So great question. Looks like Sarah sent us a couple questions, and she was the great contributor last week, I believe it was, with the questions about neuroemotional stresses, the microbiome, people being affected by different bugs. When the settlers came over from Europe and they brought different diseases, they brought different things with them, shall we say. And the Native Americans who were here were affected by it. Not all of them died, clearly. So she brought that question. That was a fantastic question. Thanks again for that, Sarah. And thanks for bringing my attention to that with yours. Appreciate it. So her question is, what causes muscle cramping and dehydration? Okay, she wonders, is it lack of magnesium? Are there triggers? All of the above? So absolutely. Well, cramping, think about cramping as when you move toxins through your body, your lymphatic tissue is what takes waste away. You have to squeeze muscles, whether it's arms, legs, hands, feet, and stuff like that, in order to move toxins. So if your brain senses you got a toxic buildup in your system and you are not moving and you need to get them flowing, your body's like, I got to get this out of here, it's going to cause a spasm. So it's going to squeeze that lymph and move the toxin out, okay? It's a little deeper than that. I mean, you can go into why is it cramping in the foot versus the lower leg versus the thigh / hamstring, because that's going to be a different stressor. You talk about triggers, Sarah. Potassium and magnesium are two common reasons why people get muscle cramping, lack of those two. But really what you want to understand is that if you were properly hydrated, if you weren't holding on to excess toxins, i.e. you could let go of whatever it is, and you had proper mineralization, you wouldn't have those cramps. So when you think about that, you want to say, okay, what am I having trouble letting go of? Or what stressor is it? Looks like some people are joining us. Life and balance, hi. And then Deb has a question. We'll get back to that in a second. I saw your question as well, Kendra. I'll get back to you in a second. So you want to make sure you're well hydrated to reduce cramping. You want to make sure your kidneys are strong. They can filter off the water. So your body flushes blood through the kidneys and it pulls off water and then filters it back through. Your liver is a reservoir for water, and your colon resorbs water along with other things. So 3 different areas that are responsible for water processing in your body. And so cramping is really dehydration, demineralization. So if you're peeing all your water out and you're washing your minerals away with it, then that's going to be a challenge. Magnesium, it's used in 300 different enzyme reactions in your body. It's commonly associated with, if I take some magnesium, I have less cramping. It's probably one of the enzyme reactions. It's facilitating your liver to detoxify. So you want to appreciate that magnesium is just a source that you can use to minimize them, but you want to address the root cause. So if you think about a river flowing and there's a bunch of trash in the river, and if the river runs dry, the trash then floats to the bottom and sticks to the bottom. That's if you're dehydrated. So what you want to do is be well hydrated so you can wash it away, but then you also need a drain, i.e. your liver, to process all those toxins so that you can get rid of them, okay? But yeah, I mean, cramping in your feet could be related to somehow feeling unsteady, feeling tied down, and or trying to follow in someone's footsteps. Lower leg is unable to keep up with stressors, and then thigh, like hamstring thigh, would be feeling powerless, not appreciated, recognized, promoted, and things like that. So those are just your general triggers. If you have other questions on different parts of the body that might be related to, just let us know. All right. Someone has a question about the sins of our fathers. If you don't know that, like that's a theological term, a religious term that talks about, obviously the sins of our fathers are passed down, things like that. But it can happen from a DNA standpoint. This is also a question from Sarah. She wants to know how much of the ails of we as adults have to do with what's been passed down from our grandparents, parents, etc. Example, this person had back surgery on their L5-S1 herniation at the age of 39 years old. Her father as well, and so did his father. So give or take a couple years. So she says, cue the Twilight music. Basically, how much of what is genetic versus learned behavior or ways of coping? That is an absolutely wonderful question. And less than 1% of all disease in the world is genetic. So you don't want to look at it as genetic. It's more of a neurological wiring challenge. Your systems are wired a certain way. So you have general dispositions, attitudes, ways of thinking, ways of approaching things, and things like that. That's what's handed down. Okay, negative patterns or what you learn by watching your parents and core drivers kind of things are related to what you inherit from your mom and dad. So what, Sarah, in this example, what you may have inherited from a wiring standpoint is a susceptibility to tolerating feeling lack of support, lack of respect, not being heard. Okay. In your lifetime, you might have dealt with a lot of unexpected stress, shocks, and surprises, might have also affected you. That's going to kind of take you into the L5-S1. I know that Louise Hay has a book, and I can't remember the name of it, but it'll actually show you. I'll have one of my team members type in the relationship between L5 and S1, because there have been some very, very smart and wise people over the millennia that have sort of codified this stuff. So, I get to ride on the shoulders of these giants that have already done all the hard work and made all the connections. So I just have the great privilege of being able to provide it to you so you can expand your consciousness and your awareness so you can enlighten yourself and live a better life. But yeah, those are the stressors, Sarah, that you're going to deal with. So it's going to be one part genetic / inherited stress wiring, and then many more parts in environment. So you could have been born to your father, and he could have had that issue, and his father could have that issue, but he could have changed how he lived his life and the stressors that he was going to tolerate in his life, and as a result, it would have changed how you would have interacted with him and things along that line. So he could have thwarted that process for you. That might or could have not happened. So if you have a sibling, for example, knowing what I know about you, that hasn't had that issue, you want to look at sort of your collective lives and say, well, what did I experience that she didn't experience, or things, so on and so forth. Because there's a story in there, you'll be able to understand, you'll be able to tease it out and understand it, okay? Last question from her is teeth cleaning at night. Her dentist said if our jaw is tense / tight when we're awake, it's 5 times more than when we sleep. But a bite guard will help get rid of the symptoms. Discuss. Well, a bite guard is not going to do anything to decrease your tension in your jaw. I'm not sure what they're talking about there. So if you have tension in your jaw, if you are clenching your teeth at night, usually it's because your subconscious mind is chewing on, some type of concept or situation that you have trouble processing, like you're able to chew on an idea or set of circumstances, which means you're having trouble processing it in your life. It's a stress that won't go away. It's a challenge. It's a lack of support. In your case, lack of support, lack of respect, not feeling heard. So that's one way to look at it. Okay. So that is an opportunity there to understand what's going on. A bite guard is only going to gap so you don't grind the teeth, because then you're going to decrease the amount of enamel you're wearing on the teeth. So if you take two surfaces and rub them back together, eventually you're going to wear down. So if you're clenching your teeth at night and clenching your jaw, you're eventually going to wear your teeth down and the enamel. I used to actually remember, first of all, before I get to that, stop chewing gum if you chew gum, because that's going to shorten the ligaments in your jaw, because you're constantly clenching your jaw and you're shortening the ligaments, which is going to make it really hard. So if you go to the dentist and have trouble opening your jaw, opening your mouth, that's going to be a problem for you. So definitely stop chewing gum. That's only going to make your jaw worse. But know that the bite guard is only going to protect your teeth. It's not going to stop you from clenching your jaw. You're just going to be clenching your jaw through the bite guard as a frame of reference. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense there. You'd want to work on the neuroemotional stressors and the things in your life. And you could have a parasite in your body that's imbalanced due to the stress in your life. And that you might, if you ever heard of kids like grinding their teeth at night due to pinworms, because pinworms tend to come out and they like come out of the rectum at night for certain kids, and then irritate the anus. So the kids are like, grinding and thrashing around. And they tend to have really tight jaws and injure their teeth and stuff like that. But if that's not you, then it's probably more like a mental stress that you're dealing with in life that's related to something you can't chew on, and circumstances or idea that you can't chew on. Okay. Anonymous person sent in a question about why do my toes go numb when I run? Well, there could be a couple different reasons. You could have really tight shoes, so you could have a peripheral entrapment. You could be squeezing your feet. Looks like we're paused on Instagram. Oh, we're back. You could have a shoe that's too tight. Hi, Babs. That's compressing your foot and decreasing your blood flow. You could have tension in your calf. That's of course, your calves are used when you run. Calves are related to stress. You could have too much stress, which is creating a peripheral entrapment in your calf and your lower leg. That's causing a decreased blood flow. That could be contributing to toes going numb. It could be a hypothalamic reaction, like a nervous system brain reaction that causes decreased blood flow to the toes. So if you know anybody with Raynaud's is where you get blanching of the fingers, where the fingers turn white and they go numb. It's like, hey, Jose. So that can happen to your toes as well. Now, fingers and toes are generally thought to be related to inability to hold on or inability to let go, inability to grasp onto or let go, things like that. So you'd want to look at, what are you having trouble let go of? Like, are you having trouble letting go of trying to keep up with someone in the way of trying to follow in their footsteps? Like, I got someone I really admire, really want to be like them, and I'm having trouble keeping up with them, and I can't let go of trying to keep up with them. I can't just be me. That might be related to decreased blood flow to the toes. There's a bunch of different reasons. So I would first of all check your shoes. Second of all, check your stress. Third of all, make sure you're properly hydrated and that you have enough blood flow down to the toes. Because if it were actually a circulation problem that was not being directed by your brain, then your entire foot would go numb and it would start climbing up. So there's definitely a specific stressor there related to that. You just got to figure out what it is. Okay, so that's really helpful if you can narrow that down. That would be helpful. All right, so who do we have? We have Kendra had a question. I have a question. I just got back, got done with hockey practice, and I'm looking for a good way to stretch my hips. Okay, well, I'm not going to try and demonstrate that right now, but I would look at hip opening yoga sequences. Would be a really great one for stretching your hips out. There we go. Deb, I see another question there. Thanks for clarifying your question. I'll jump down in a second. But so lunge stretches are great. Working with some body worker, a person that can stretch your hips out would be helpful. But lunge stretches for your TFL and things like that. What I'll do, love putting more stuff on my plate. I will post a video here later on. And what I would do when I used to, after hockey practice for me, what I would do, I'm glad you're doing it afterward and not trying to do it before. That's really important. Doing static stretching or some type of dynamic stretching after your workout, that's awesome. So I'll send out a video here. I might do it live, I'm not sure. Probably just record it and send and post it here and or on the feed. So we'll get that to you, Kendra. Yeah, because hips can be tight. But if you cross your leg like this and your knee's up here and you can't drop it down, that, here, my knee cracked there. Now, if you can't drop down like that, that's generally a sign of tight hips. But if you might want to elaborate on that, we'll provide more information about that. And now I'm going to go back to Deb's questions over here. Looks like Zach's joined us. Hi, Zach. All right, Deb. Okay, so she was asking, is that why I'm having lower tummy issues after the trampoline? So I'm trying to think what I might have said in context that she's referring to. So she's clarifying. Let me clarify. Just jumped 20 minutes yesterday on a tramp to assist with lymph. Awesome. It's called a rebounder. That's fantastic. Well, I assume it's like a little circle trampoline, Deb. That's called a rebounder. Those are great for getting your lymphatic tissues flowing. Fantastic. As long as you are well hydrated and your liver is working well. You always want to remember that. And so, yeah, today your lower tummy's not happy. Noisy bathroom often feels like a dull pulling, aching. What is happening? Well, I don't necessarily know that it's due to your, that could be the aftermath of doing the rebounding. So if you, in the process of rebounding, mobilized enough toxins in your peripheral tissues, like out here, and you moved them to your liver, and your liver said, whoa, this is a lot of crap we got to get rid of, and it dumps it into your small intestine, your body's then going to try and usher that through as fast as possible. So you can definitely, doing coffee colonics are fantastic, great idea. You will still benefit from a coffee colonic even if you have a loose stool. It might even help thwart it faster, but I would use something like a GI detox, which is a combination of activated charcoal and mimosa pudica with some aloe in there. That's a great product. Or we have Cleanzyme, is a great one for picking up toxins and solidifying the stool. But you always want to make sure you're adding in minerals. If you're having a loose stool, you definitely want to make sure you're getting proper mineralization, so you don't end up getting muscle cramping if you're flushing out too many fluids. So I would say that the tummy troubles you're having, Deb, or experienced earlier today, were definitely, without further information, tied to you mobilizing more toxins and dumping into your small intestine. Okay, so keep on doing your coffee colonics, keep on cleansing your body, keep on rebounding. Make sure you're drinking your OptiCleanse or OptiEndocrine or something like that. That's going to help you flush that stuff out. Hope has a question. Oh, you got muscle cramps too. Yeah, get some Intramin, get some terrain factors, get some Optimins, whatever you got, Deb, to fill back up your bucket now that you're emptying it out. That would be really helpful. Looks like Hope says, would jump rope work like a trampoline too? Yes, absolutely. So remember, anytime you're moving your muscles, whether it's push-ups, raising your arms up and down, stomping your legs like this, clenching your calves, clenching your thighs, that's all going to move your lymph. So jumping up and down, you're going to be doing the same thing. It's just going to be a little bit more, it's going to be more impact on your body than if you're just doing a rebounding trampoline. So it's like Minneapolis Bloom joined us. Hi. So yes, jump rope is really good. I like to do everything in intervals. So Deb, I don't know if you're doing just straight jumping or if you're doing intervals, fast, slow. I would recommend it. Give your body a break. Don't do any chronic cardio. As far as jump rope, you can do the same thing where you jump slow for 90 seconds, jump fast for 30 seconds and things like that. Hi, Erica. And so just modify it, mix it up a little bit. But yes, jump rope would do similar things as the rebounder. Okay? What else do we have? Any other questions, people, comments, thoughts, concerns, points of clarification? Because I've reached the end of the list for this week, and it's about 12:50 now, so it's really quiet over here. It's crazy because we've got so much construction at the clinic. Yeah, Deb, no worries. That's our pleasure. Thanks for the opportunity to provide that information for you. But you can probably tell. I normally have some type of background noise during the live Q&As and/or the Wednesday Wellness Minute, so it's eerily peaceful and quiet in here. So we'll get back to that, our Zen state, once the construction's over. We're super excited for everybody to see it. We'll do a walkthrough, but you're more than welcome to always come in and see the clinic as well. So Deb says, trampoline jumped and bruised my middle toe pad onto the foot. Okay, so if you're talking about like this area, that's really where your metatarsal arch. So if your foot is like this, Deb, your toes are my fingers, your toes, you should have an arch. But what happens is if you're stressed out, I can't really tell with the lighting, if your toes flatten out, you're going to have pressure. People can get Morton's neuromas with that. So what happens is you want a nice healthy arch in the middle of your foot. How can I do this? Take my shoe off. All right, so this is the foot, longitudinal arch. This is your transverse arch. You should have a nice dome where it's rounded, like if I can, it's like that. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but it looks like that. When you're stressed and you don't have energy, your longitudinal arch starts to collapse, so it starts going from this to that. And then the transverse arch up here goes flat, okay? So then you're going to get more pressure here. So if you get a callus here, you don't want a callus here. You want a callus out here and back here on the fat pad of your heel, okay? You don't want a callus right in the middle. That means your transverse arch, instead of it being arched, is flattening out, and that's where you can get Morton's neuroma because there's too much pressure on that. Usually you're going to have some type of potential for a bunion on this edge of your foot, and the toe will start going that direction as well. Hopefully that makes sense. Kind of a impromptu explanation there. I know Zach has a question here. Anything to be careful with when doing myofascial release things with a lacrosse ball, for example? Trigger point work is okay. You shouldn't mobilize too many toxins when you're doing trigger point work with a lacrosse ball. You don't want to overdo it. I would say 3 to 5 minutes max per site, because otherwise you could do some bruising and or really break up some tissue. So you want to be mindful of that. Just be gentle with it, small doses. If you're going to do it all over your body, if you're going to go get like a massage, you definitely want to make sure you are loading up on something like OptiCleanse or something like that to keep your liver clean and you're well hydrated. Because if you've ever had a massage, you're going to get a big toxin dump the next day. That can result in congestion in your nose, sinus congestion, sneezing, headaches, neck pain. And it's crazy because you feel like I should feel great after that massage, but you feel more stressed because your body's now tense because you mobilize so many toxins. Definitely great for repeat business, but you can enjoy it and keep enjoying it if you are, supporting your liver and stuff like that. So hopefully that answers your question, Zach. So yeah, good. I'm glad you have it's only a bruise and just not a callus, Deb. That's great. Hope has a question. I've been working out at night after work and then eating vegan dinner. What are the consequences? I'm not getting protein after my workouts. Okay, so first of all, you want to get protein within 20 minutes of working out, Hope. You want to make sure you're going to stop the inflammatory cascade because what you're doing with an exercising, you're going to have some breakdown of the tissue, and that's how you're either going to get muscle hypertrophy or you're going to gain better cardiovascular. So you want to make sure you get protein within 20 minutes. Now that can be a vegan protein, that doesn't have to be meat. So vegans aren't, they're vegan bodybuilders. So you can do all kinds of things with just eating a vegan diet. You want to be mindful of as a vegan, you're not going to get enough arachidonic acid typically for the omega-6s. So you'd want to take some type of omega-6 complete, or it's like some type of omega complete where it has 3, 6, and 9, which is going to balance it out for you and give you the proper ratios, because if you don't have enough omega-6s, you're not going to be able to produce what's called arachidonic acid, which is used by your immune system to create inflammation. So you could be more susceptible to injury or to illness if your body can't create an inflammatory reaction to stop that. So, hi Gaby. So I would say definitely get some type of protein in, Hope, within 20 minutes after working out. If that includes your dinner, sometimes you just need to get in there and get the protein in there. So whether it's in a shake form, food form, whatever you got to do. Okay. That's a great question. You guys are coming up with some really good ones. Appreciate that. An impromptu addition and opportunity for us to contribute to helping you live your best life. So any other questions? We're kind of rounding it out here, about a couple more minutes if you guys don't have any more questions. It's been a good one. A lot of different stuff. Got a good tangents. That's just it. All these questions lead to so many different tangents. You can go down so many different rabbit holes. I was doing a podcast this morning for overcoming Alzheimer's, and during this conversation, I'm like, we could have 5 or 6 of these podcasts easily on just nutrition, just sleep, just exercise. We didn't even talk about mental health, like doing puzzles, and we talked a lot about the neuroemotional stresses. So that live broadcast will come out on the 18th. We'll make sure to send that out via email so everybody can have that. If you didn't see the podcast we did with Crystal Halverson, she's basically a mom that's empowering other moms and people that have had challenges with eating different food challenges, what shall we say, in the past. But that should have been emailed out. If you want more information about that, I actually recorded it in this room. We'll happily send that out again. I'm pretty sure she posted it on our Facebook as well. Krish is great about that. So, yeah. All right, sweet. So you guys are the best. Thank you for the opportunity again this week to serve you and provide value to you and your family and your loved ones, to give you information that you don't get anywhere else. At Secoya Health, we're obsessed about helping you live your best life and empowering you to be educated and make decisions for yourself. That's our only purpose in life. So we appreciate the opportunity. Oh, one last question. Hope says, why are garlic and onions a no-go on the anti-inflammatory diet? So it's not that they're a no-go. The anti-inflammatory diet tends to you could be on, I believe you're on so SIBO diet, SIBO lifestyle is different than the anti-inflammatory. I would say that the anti-inflammatory, there's no reason why you shouldn't consume onions and garlic. Hi, Ella. But on a SIBO diet, those can be problematic for some people as far as how they're processed in the gut. So make sure that you're differentiating between the SIBO versus anti-inflammatory. I don't see for any reason why, if you were just doing anti-inflammatory, that you wouldn't want to eat the onions and garlic, okay? So ultimately, it's with anything. What's it say? It's Brian the chef. Oh, chief. Oh, hi, Brian. Apparently, our amazing project manager who is guiding the entire ship of this construction project is messaging through Ella's phone. So yeah, I do call Brian Chief all the time, so that's funny. Okay, it looks like my good friend Gabby from Querétaro, Mexico, she says she's haven't had the opportunity to hear you before. Thanks for the feedback, Gabby. It's great to connect with you even though we're not face-to-face. And it's fun to know that some people south of the border are able to benefit from this, like you and Jose and other people. So, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, yeah. Just invading your space.
No, you're fine. Whenever you need.
Sweet, thanks. So anyway, yeah, great. So fun to come to you guys every week. Thank you for the opportunity to answer your questions and elaborate on these things, and for interacting, because it makes it so much more interesting. I know I love having Ella on our Wednesday Wellness Minutes, because then she can chime in and ask her questions and things like that. So didn't have her on with the homeoprophylaxis this last 2 days ago, but it's sort of more of convoluted and nuanced conversation. And so you'll be sure to see Ellie back on the, as she calls it, the Ellie and Schilling Show for the Wednesday Wellness Minutes, coming to you live next week. We'll figure out what we're talking about. Got a bunch of ideas. So if you have any ideas that you want me to discuss, that you want more information upon, or what I like to believe is an unbiased opinion. When I present information, I try to be as absolutely unbiased as possible. I certainly live my life different from other people, but I don't judge theirs, and I would hope they don't judge mine. But it's just about giving you information that is not skewed in any way, like what I would generally describe as the media these days. So we will sign off for now. Thank you all for the opportunity to come to you this week, and we will look forward to providing you more value next week. So have a great weekend. It's going to be a steamer out there. Get in the water, and wherever you are, just have fun, enjoy life, and have fun with your family and friends, all right? Take care, guys. Bye-bye.